Tonight on 48 Hours.
This is Times Square.
Times Square is the heart of New York City.
Where my life is. It's where my dreams are, you know.
Tales of Times Square.
People sometimes are shocked by what they see.
My goodness. And the Tony Award goes to
The small-town girl who's becoming a star.
Had I been 22 and this happened to me, I don't know how people handle it. You know, you have to have a lot of guts to do what I do.
The stripper who has big plans.
My mission is to be famous. I'm going to be like the next Marilyn Monroe Madonna.
This is where dreams are made, hopes begin.
The contender whose toughest fight was not in the ring.
Alcohol and drugs took me down pretty bad.
I told you no back up.
The beat cops who've seen it all.
What the hell?
And the out-of-towners who ain't seen nothing yet.
Use the word different here and mean it.
Times Square. It's a magnet for 20 million people a year. Dreamers and schemers drawn by the dazzle of America's most famous crossroads. Down there, where Broadway meets 42nd Street, two worlds meet as well. The glamour and glitz of the stage and the gritty realities of crime, drugs, and sex for sale. The two worlds of Times Square have one thing in common. Getting here is a lot easier than making it here.
Let's have a word of prayer. Father, we thank you for the beautiful morning that we have and the opportunity to be able to experience and see New York City.
Oh, my Lord. Look at the cabs.
It's a long way from Spartanburg, South Carolina, to Broadway and 42nd Street. Just ask Pearl and W.B. Waddell.
Here's Times Square. Look to your right. Everything comes together. Times Square.
Goodness.
Although this is 2 blocks from the hotel, it's like a world away.
Oh, those are interesting people, aren't they?
Even in their first few moments of their first ever trip to New York, they'll tell you more than miles separate Spartanburg from Times Square.
My goodness.
So you have arrived at Times Square.
I never seen anything like this before. Never.
I've
It's
seen
quite an
New
experience.
Year's come in for so many years on Times Square, and it's good to be able to see Times Square.
They've come on a Christian bus tour, and among their fellow travelers are 2 sisters from just outside Charleston. So your name is?
Thelma.
And your name is?
Louise.
Thelma and Louise in Times Square.
That's right. Here we are.
And Thelma and Louise, who, by the way, have never seen the movie of the same name, are about to join the Waddells for their first walk through Times Square.
Let's be careful.
Which way are you going?
They drive crazy. You better put your purse under your arm. Thelma. Look. Don't get dizzy.
Having a good sleep, right?
Ed Sullivan, yes, that's right, Ed Sullivan has been clashing with the cons and criminals of Times Square for 22 years. Partner Bob Kissinger has been walking the beat for 10 years. How vulnerable are the tourists when they arrive here?
Very vulnerable. You can pick them out. What are you doing?
Huh?
What are you doing?
I'm trying to sell tickets now.
Oh, yeah? Let's
I'm
yeah.
only playing with you.
Do you have them?
No, I don't know tickets.
He's trying to sell you something he doesn't have.
He don't comprende.
Yeah, well, listen, do you comprende? You got to take a hike. How's that?
These guys sell phony tickets. And then you'll be out hundreds of dollars. Where you from? Brazil.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
There's a call for a disturbance down the street.
Oh, now you were telling him to walk away? Now you telling him to walk away? Relax.
Involving a Times Square street hustler who's a lot harder to handle.
I'm ready. When you ready. I ain't from New York. I ain't from Jersey.
Don't get in my face.
I'm from Washington.
Don't get in my face.
This man claims cops beat him up.
This guy got into a fight with somebody else at 408.
And he's blaming it on everybody else.
But his real assailant is on the way to the hospital.
Putting a show on. Hey, listen, I'm talking to him, no one else, all right? Give me your piece of paper, all right? All right? Hey, don't call me no mother...
I said my man. I said my man. I ain't calling you no mother...
Back up. Now, back up.
No, man, you
all right. Go back to your street. I'm busy. Turn around and walk away from this guy.
This is Times Square.
Times Square.
Look,
Look at that big television.
the TV up there. Hey, we ought to get some deals in here.
It says don't walk, so don't walk. New York's finest. You'll find whatever you want, whatever it might be.
But when you get further down 42nd Street, what some people want is all too clear.
I would like to be in the better part of town.
I think we'll get out of this district here. No, this is not for me here.
Yeah.
Let's step it up.
What'd you think of 42nd Street here?
Oh, I didn't think nothing.
That's pretty rough looking. Pretty rough looking.
I can use the word different here and mean it.
Oh, look at here. Now, this is something I've never seen.
None of this shocks Sullivan and Kissinger. They see it every night. But the visitors from South Carolina don't. On the way home, they run straight into some Times Square action.
Gee whiz.
It's apparently not too serious.
No, it looks like he burnt his leg. And EMS is going to take him to the hospital now.
Let's move on. All the excitement's over.
So everybody heads home early. After all, tomorrow is another day.
A lot to take in.
Later in our 48 hours,
Don't let me get close up in here.
the best of times and the worst of times, on a day the visitors and the cops will not forget.
Why you down? I have no knife.